Welcome to Bruno Move Coaching and Education. I'm Bruno, and this is part 2 of the videos about a new beginning and struggles. So, where did the struggles begin? I remember as a basketball player, at the end of my NCAA playing time, there was back pain here and there. There wasn't a long time when there was back pain that I would not be able to compete or play or train, but there would always be back pain there. Taking painkillers to kind of cover it a little bit, to be able to play and do hot packs on the back before practice, before games, and do cold packs after, cold plunges after. Not doing much stretching in that time, not doing any rehab, just a lot of strength training and basketball specific work. And I felt after, at the end of my career as a basketball player, it's just the center of my body was weak because of that pain, and I couldn't produce force and power anymore, and that athleticism just went down, and I felt like younger players came, and I struggled to defend them, to keep up with them physically. You know, my athleticism was getting worse. So I decided to stop playing. I just wanted to start something new. So I started to race bicycles. You can think of like how you're gonna race bicycles with a bad back, but just funny, like it just wouldn't hurt riding a bike. So it was great because I was my own boss. I could train when I wanted, as long as I wanted. I could ride the bike and not have anybody tell me what and how. And so the difference between team sports and individual sports, at that time I really enjoyed that difference. So I would go out on bike rides. I would tell people like, hey, no, if it's under 3 hours, I'm not going. So I really enjoyed that solitude, that training, that kind of, endurance sport. That mindset changed from being a team athlete, having to have people to train. I could just not train on my own and be out there in nature, and I really enjoyed that. Slowly, I transitioned to become a endurance athlete, and at some point, I saw a commercial on NBC for Ironman Hawaii, and after watching this, it was like, I don't know how long it was, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe it was a small documentary, I don't remember, but I was so taken in. And back in the day, there weren't many people doing it yet. And I felt like I want to go to Hawaii, but I want to earn it. So this mindset of if something good happens to you, you need to earn it. I had that mindset of earning things always. I started training swimming. I started training running, and I had no clue how to do it, and just did it, and I enjoyed like the long training. And I bought a book, Dave Scott, like the Ironman legend, the American Ironman legend. Bought his book and kind of used his training principles to get better. And once I was done with my studying in the U.S., I moved back to Switzerland, and I signed up for my first Ironman race, and I just was a bit insecure about being able to run a marathon. So just before I came back to Switzerland, I actually signed up for the first marathon in Washington, D.C. That's where I studied, and I just remember I just like ran once a week. I ran really long, and and anytime I could like get out to run, I ran, and I didn't really know how to prepare for a marathon properly. And I remember I rode my bike to the marathon in the morning because of thinking I'm training for Ironman, so I need to like ride my bike. So about an hour and a half or something, I rode my bike to the start of the race, came down, locked my bike up, walked over to the starting line, and 10 minutes later or so, we were on our way. So I finished the marathon, but right after finishing, I couldn't walk anymore. So Pain was so bad in my knee, and when I came back to Switzerland, it ended up my physio and the doctors, they say, this is the tendon on the side that runs to the side of the leg and just, causes all this pain. It's called the IT band. So I was, going to through physio, taping my legs up, training for Ironman, whatnot. But, the pain was tolerable and there was no back pain. So it was just, I was super happy. And I finished my first Ironman. I remember it was a rainy day and a friend of mine actually gave me a rain jacket halfway through the bike ride, and it was an awesome experience. So fast forward, I would train for Ironmans every year and compete in them and really love it. And I remember at the end, after maybe 6 or 8 years of racing, I actually had a local bike shop sponsor me with Specialized, and I had a community sponsorship from Specialized, and had a new bike, beautiful aero bike from Specialized, and I was like, this is going well, and I used to go to the US in spring to do a camp, sometimes do half Ironman California, and I would just visit a friend of mine, and he lived he moved from Washington, D.C., where we went to school together. He moved to Tucson, Arizona. And Tucson, Arizona is just that desert, beautiful desert area, which was new to me, and all the cacti. And I just loved the nature there, and this kind of dry heat, and the ability to ride up Mount Lemon, which I hope I said that correctly, which was awesome because you start in the desert and then you ride up this mountain, and it's a steady climb. It was perfect for training, and all of a sudden you smell these pine trees, and actually my ride would end up where there would be snow, and I couldn't ride anymore, so that would stop my training ride, and I just turn around, go back down, and I really enjoyed this training environment, and that year where I got my new bike, I was super happy. I was training and I was riding a lot, and after a 6-hour ride one day, I came back and did my normal, it's called a brick when you do that training of cycling to running. Put my running shoes on and went out, boom, on the run. I was running, tuck, 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 like 3 steps, and I couldn't run anymore. Like my back just totally gave up on me, and I could hardly walk. So I went on my knees and totally collapsed. Tears were running down my face. I just knew there was something that that would stop me from racing Ironmans. And I remember sitting on the sofa for hours trying to find a position where, lying down, sitting on the sofa. And when my friend came back from work, he saw me destroyed there, and he was like, what happened? I told it to him, and he wasn't an elite athlete or a performance athlete or anything, so I think he couldn't really relate that a world just collapsed, that something just broke. My spirit, my emotions, I felt like Superman, before, with just this fitness level I had, this endurance level. I felt like one of the fittest people in the world, and that kind of got me through anything. And so after I collapsed and everything, I felt there was something inside of me that was broken. So I went back to Switzerland after this training camp. I knew this was kind of over. I kind of tried, but I knew. So I sold my bike, my new bike that I hadn't raced in any race. And I sold it. I sold my beautiful disc wheels, carbon disc wheels and everything. And I was like, this is over. So the thing that I still remember like it was yesterday was that instead of really treating the root cause of my problem, I just started doing something else. So I did kickboxing a little bit. I did this and that. I just tried to find something that would not hurt my back. Different movement patterns, and that really helped. And my back pain was less, but still there. So I could but not as much as I couldn't ignore it. So I found CrossFit, which sounds kind of weird, like with back pain, how is it possible to do? But in some ways I just love the camaraderie again, like to be able to train with people. And I ended up, training a lot. And one day, just my deadlift, on a deadlift, just I felt the pain move from my lower back down into my butt. And so I went to the doctor. I could hardly sit, move. And I was diagnosed with a severely herniated disc in my lower back, so L5S1. And I just had to stop even the doctor to tell me how bad it was. And looking at the picture, I still remember, it's like imprinted in my mind, the way, like what my disc looked like, and all the liquid that, was pressing on my nerve and whatnot. So this was ground zero. I had a hard time like teaching. So I was, a school teacher at that time. I still am school teacher at that time. So when you work with kids, you want to be moving with them. You want to play. You want to play catch. You want to, be a role model when it comes to natural movement, to be active and to play and to have fun with them. And I couldn't even like bend over to pick up stuff. We're not talking about like running or playing or anything. So that was a big struggle. And but ground zero means like this grounded me, I just had to, the only thing I could do was walk. And I tried to do push-ups or anything, and I just couldn't. And after a month of just walking, I just wanted to sweat. From exercise, I just wanted to sweat. I missed it so bad that I started walking up a hill, the local hill in Zurich, the Uetliberg, and I just like a couple of times, 3 times a week, I walked up there, and after like an hour of walking uphill, I started sweating. I even put on some more clothes that would happen. I just love this feeling of my heart pumping and sweating, and I remember feeling this unbelievable gratitude that I could sweat again from just movement, from exercise. And I had to be really, really, really careful on the way down, slow down my movement, and be really careful about my back. And I found barefoot walking then something that became a core of my now being, which is spending time in nature and learning about nature and learning about the animals, the plants, the ecosystem, and all these things, because I had to move so slowly, and I was walking every day, that I just started looking at all these insects and birds and plants that I would like kind of ignore and not see before, right? So as a triathlon and cyclist, I was just see landscapes that I would enjoy, but not like these details. And with my slow walking and then barefoot walking, so I would walk even slower barefoot, I would see all these things, and I wanted to know and wanted to learn about it. And then I actually started a certificate for advanced studies in natural education, because I wanted this knowledge to go to children and to pass it on, because I was getting so passionate about it. And during that time, my body was healing, and I found joy in something else, like spending time in nature, just sometimes sitting for half an hour. That would be my training time, just sitting there. And I guess that's the time also where like my breath work started, and my, maybe like, I wouldn't call it meditation, I just call it like a mindful breathing meditation, or breathing, just sitting and just being mindful and being aware started as well. So with that struggle, that pain, that feeling of loss, that feeling of being lost, that feeling of feeling like a victim, being emotionally drained, started this passion of of nature and natural movement and breath work and mindfulness. So these years of struggle brought a new beginning. I'm really happy I was able to tell you this, and I hope you found it interesting and got something out of it. And I'm excited to talk about the next thing. Get out there, take your shoes off, and slow down. All right? See you next time. I'm out.